Okay, so welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year. This week I'm going to talk about buying structures that are already done, already built online, whether it's off of eBay or off of a model railroad forum or anything like that. And I bought this structure, and in the pictures online, it looked pretty good, but upon getting it, I don't really love it. It's kind of just kind of blah to me. So I wanted sort of a different look. I didn't really like how the structure looked. Everything was painted red, including all the trim that should probably just be like concrete colored. And with the lighting that's here in the room, I'm just not really all that happy with it. It's a really, really bright red. It's almost like a Christmas red, and then the windows are green. So yeah, for me, it just doesn't really fit with what I'm looking for. But I kind of knew that. I kind of expected that. And I would say that if you're going to buy something that someone's already built, whether it's at a train show or whatever, kind of expect that, if you're buying it because it's cheap, it's probably not the, be all end all building that you're just going to simply pull out of the shipping box and plop it down on your layout. So with this one, I decided, you know what, I've got a lot of red brick structures on my layout, but I know in my area here in Pennsylvania, there's a lot of structures that were sort of a yellowish orange type brick. And so I wanted to kind of mix it up a little bit so that it didn't look like every building was built by the same person. Down here at the bottom of the building, at the foundation level, I also think those probably are not bricks. When I look at them, I'm like, that's probably like some type of stone foundation, whether it's cement block or whatever. So what I'm going to do is flip it around here and show you what I've started to do. I've started to just kind of transform this building into more of what I want. I'm certainly not done. I mean, there's some spots you can see where the gray is kind of run over into the rest of the brick. But I have started down here to sort of drag some weathering powders and things of that nature. So what I've done is, sort of toned it down. Like I said, as you can see down here at the foundation level, I sort of gave it a concrete block, sort of stone foundation look. Something more than just, let me just paint the whole building red. So I'm going to show you how I did that. Like I said, I think it looks pretty good. I'm certainly not done yet, but it's starting to look really good. So this will be sort of part one of this video, and you can see it's really, really bright red. And on this side of the building, I started to paint the gray already. And so the technique that I'm going to do to sort of dull it down is the same as I did on the other side. And I'm going to take we'll start with this side here. I'm just going to take a brush and just sort of dry brush here. So I've already put some paint out. I'm using dark yellow. It's from Vallejo. And I'm also using the color Concrete, just in case you're wondering. It doesn't matter if it's the Vallejo Air or if it's just the regular Vallejo paints. They're exactly the same. So if it says that it's dark yellow, it's dark yellow. If it says it's concrete, at least from them. But what I'm basically going to do is just kind of load up my brush and get most of the paint off. And then come over here to my structure and just kind of, basically, I'm just going to try to dry brush it. If I get a little too much on, then that's okay. Sorry, I'm trying to get that camera angle right here. as well as actually paint the structure while you watch. But I'm going to use that same, not really going to brush the paint in, because the one thing I will say about this structure when I got it is, you can't really see it right now. You can see it in a few spots, but whoever painted it, I believe, actually primed it first and got that white primer down inside of all of the grooves. If not, I'm going to go over it again at the end with a wash to sort of make the mortar lines pop out at you. And like I said, if you get kind of too much on, that's okay. We can always come back and just sort of dull it down with some weathering powders, with some grays, with some whites, with the concrete color, whatever. And I'm just gonna do this. As you can see, I have no real method to how I attack this. I'm just kind of, just sort of stippling. This is a pretty firm brush. I've used it for quite a long time now. It was just one of those cheap hobby store, or it might have come from Michael's or something like that. But it's just kind of a stiffer bristle brush. And like I said, as you can see here, I made a little boo-boo there. You can just wipe that off with your finger. Or like I said, you can kind of come back later and just kind of hit those areas. But all I'm doing is trying to just get rid of that really bright red tone. I could have dulled it down just using different colors of reds and done some different washes and things like that. Sorry, my camera is kind of rough today. Just kind of all over the place. I'm trying to watch the camera and paint this structure at the same time. Proves to be kind of difficult. One of these days I'll get an actual tripod and I can have both hands free. So to just show you that this is not that hard. If I can do it with one hand while I talk to all of you, then it can't be that difficult. Don't be afraid to mess up. You can always come back over it with something else and kind of cover up the boo-boos. Like I said, as you can see, I'm not really being careful. If I get too much paint on one spot, I just kind of try to pick it up with my brush and spread it around. I mean, that's basically all you can do. My building's bouncing around, sorry. But this is the exact same technique that I used on that other side to just sort of dull this side of the building down. Just getting that paint on my brush, sort of getting some of it off, coming over here, so it's kind of like dry brushing, and I'm just barely hitting the tops of those bricks. I'm not trying to get paint down into those cracks. Like I said, I'm going to come back, just like with this side here. I'm going to come back over it at some point with some washes to really get down on the brick. But it looks pretty good. I mean, I really like the look of it. Like I said, I used some black weathering powder. Again, I dust most of the powder off of my brush and come and just sort of put it on there and just drag it down. Just grab it and just kind of pull it down with your brush. And that's how I got the look that I got here. And this is just a quick little video. There will certainly be a part 2. We'll talk about fixing the roof, which is probably my least favorite thing in the world to do, is roofs on buildings. I don't know, I just don't like doing them. But we'll come back hopefully next week, finish up this building, we'll go on to the next step of using some weathering powders. Maybe, pull out some of those mortar lines a little bit and just kind of finish up the structure and then go into some detailing. All right. Hope that you join us next week, or just me. There's no us. But I hope you join me next week. And if you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.